Of you that are just tuning in that may or may not know me, most of you guys do know me. I'm Javet. I'm the CEO and founder of Closire. I also run Mogulvation. I teach at the Black Business School. I teach at my Black Wealth Year. I am the Mogul Evangelist. I talk about how you can live your life as a mogul. But what we're going to talk about today is reclaiming your time. There was a video circulating with Maxine speaking in Congress, and this man was trying to answer her question, and he was giving her every answer but the answer that she was in need of. And so in the video, she just keeps saying, reclaiming my time, in essence saying, stop giving me these shenanigans, stop giving me the runaround. I want my time back. No, I'm not accepting that answer because I didn't get what I needed. So what I want to talk about for us today is how do we reclaim our time? Now, you know what I'm talking about. How do you reclaim your time from that dead-end relationship? How do you reclaim your time from that dude you was talking to that was no good? How do you reclaim your time from all that time that you lacked self-confidence? How do you reclaim your time from that dead-end job? How do you reclaim your time that you were unhappy, that you were miserable? Because you know you can't go back and do 20 again. You can't go back and do 30 again. You can't go back and relive your past. Now, there's some things you can do to reclaim your time. There's some things. Hold on one second. There are some things you can do to reclaim your time. For example, if you didn't go to college, you can go to college in your 40s. You can't go to college, live on the dorm and party and, join a fraternity, right? You can't completely reclaim your time, but there are some things that you can go back and do. For example, normally I do the Sunday setup. I do it on Sundays. Today is Monday. I can't go back and reclaim Sunday because it's past, it's gone. So today is Monday. I'm doing Sunday setup on Monday with Monday motivation. Yeah, exactly. So there's some things that we can reclaim our time on, and there's a lot of things that we cannot. Okay. So what I want to talk about today, in a perfect world, we could be like Aunt Maxine and we can reclaim our time. We can go back to dude and say, I want my time back. I want those 5 years that I gave you when I was slim and trim and looking good. I want my time back. I wish it worked that way. It doesn't. What we can do to reclaim our time, though, is take the knowledge and the information that we learned that we went without, that slowed us down, that stopped us in our tracks, and use it to change the time that we have left. If that previous relationship, if that time spent in that previous relationship was negative, bad, if it did a job on you, how do you fix that so that you don't have to go through it again? What you don't want to do is keep reliving the same time. You don't want to keep being miserable. You don't want to keep being unhappy. You don't want to keep being broke. You don't want to keep yourself in the same circumstances. How many of you guys have felt like, and you can, if you don't want to put me in the comments, you don't have to. If you just tap the button to show me if I'm talking to you. How many of you have said, I feel like I keep dating the same kind of guy? Or, why do I keep meeting the same type of woman? Okay, perfect. Okay, so I said, y'all not telling your business, but I can see who you are. That's not reclaiming your time. Because if you are doing the same thing over and over, you keep meeting the same kind of dude, you keep meeting the same kind of woman, you're literally reliving the same time over and over and over again. How many of you have woke up in the morning and like, I can't stand this job. I hate going to this job. I hate waking up in the morning because this job sucks. Or has said, I'm not happy in my life. Like where I'm at right now, this is not it. There has to be something better. There has to be something more to life than just paying bills, eating shit, and dying. There has to be more. If you've woke up and you felt that way or you've had that feeling, you're not reclaiming your time. You're letting time tick by and treat you and do what it wants to do its way in your life, and you're not reclaiming your time. Your time does not belong to you if you're not in control of it. The beautiful thing about what Aunt Maxine, I call her Aunt Maxine because that's what they call her on social media, but her, Congresswoman Maxine Waters. Hey, Latanya, if you're not in control of your time. So the beautiful thing about what she was doing in that video was the man was yipping and yapping, talking all kinds of crazy. And by crazy, I mean he wasn't answering the question. He wasn't on point. He wasn't succinct. He wasn't delivering happiness. He wasn't answering the question. He wasn't stepping to her legitly. Okay, so that's what I mean by talking crazy. And so she's over here like, no, that's what I'm not going to accept. That's not the answer. That doesn't make me happy. That doesn't make me feel fulfilled. That's not what I'm looking for. And she said, I'm reclaiming my time. No, I'm not. You're not going to give me any old kind of time. You're not going to give me mediocrity. You're not going to give me an unfulfilled relationship. You're not going to give me unhealthy eating habits. You're not going to give me a job that I'm not happy with. You're not going to make me feel a certain kind of way. That's how we go about reclaiming our time. The time has gone. You can't do your 20s over again. You can't go back to high school. You can't go back to college. The time has gone. But what are you going to do with what comes next? How are you going to face it? What are you going to take with you from what you've learned from your life's experiences, from where you are right now, from how you live right now, from how you feel right now? How are you going to reclaim the time that you've already spent upset, frustrated, negative, unhappy? And what are you going to turn that into? That's the only way we really can reclaim our time. Unless you know something about science and bending time and going back in time and pressing restart, the only way you truly can reclaim your time today in your life is to make changes. Who are you with? Who are you hanging out with? Number one, do you recognize, realize, understand that you have absolute control over your time, over your happiness, over the people that you spend time with, over your body, over who you give your body to, over where you spend your money, who you spend your money with, how people talk to you, where you work, how much you get paid, the car you drive, whether you have a business, what you eat. You have control over every element of your life. A lot of times we don't feel like we do. A lot of times we feel like, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. I've got to go to this job to make this money because I got to pay rent, because JJ needs shoes. I don't have no control of my job. You absolutely do have control over your job, because you have control over your education. You have control over your skill set. You have control over what you say you're worth. And if you feel like you're only worth a $12 job, then you're only going to have a $12 job. But if you feel you're worth a $35 an hour job, then you will go out and get the skill set, the knowledge and the information to demand a $35 an hour job. So you absolutely have control over your time. You can reclaim your time if you are intentional about it. You can reclaim what you lost during that time. You can build yourself up so that what happens next lifts you up. It elevates you. It takes you to the next level. We miss out on reclaiming our time because we let that time keep going by. If you're 40 and you look back at your life, you see all the holes, you see the gaps, you see what didn't work, you see what was miserable, you see where you weren't happy, and you don't do anything about it, you can't reclaim your time. Your time is done. But if you look at your life, look at your career, look at your business, look at your family, look at what you want, look at what makes you happy. How do you want to spend the rest of your life? You look at those things, and then you look back at your life, and you make some changes, and you pivot, and you do some things differently. You can absolutely reclaim that time, because you get to make a choice and decision about what comes next. I did a Facebook Live a couple of weeks ago talking about how many lives are you going to live? People live a variety. You live multiple lives in your lifetime. You can live a single life. You can live a married life. You can live a thin life. You can live an overweight life. You can live life in the South. You can live life in the East Coast. You can live a life in Germany. There's all these lives that we live in our lifetime. People live life broke and then they win the lottery and they live life rich. People live life broke in the hood and then they go to the NFL and they live life rich. There's all these different lives that you have in a lifetime. If you don't like the life that you're on and you don't like the time that you're spending in this particular life, how are you going to reclaim it? How are you going to change it? How are you going to mold it so that it's something different? The first step is acknowledging that I want something different. A lot of times people sit in what's comfortable. And here's the thing I want you guys to understand. Negativity, chaos, confusion becomes a comfortable feeling after a while. Misery, mediocrity, it becomes comfortable. It becomes comfortable because we know how to manage it. I'm not happy living in this apartment, but it's cool because I'm good. I'm not happy in this relationship, but at least I'm in a relationship. I hate coming to this job, but at least I have a paycheck. I'm the smartest person in this room, but I don't want to go to another room and be the dumb one. I really want to start a business, but I really don't want to spend the money. It's very easy to get comfortable in mediocrity. It's very easy to get comfortable in chaos and confusion. Why? Because it's difficult to reclaim your time. It's difficult to say, I want something different. It's difficult to sacrifice for that different thing. It's difficult to invest in that different thing. It's difficult. And so we'd much rather stay comfortable, complacent, than see what's on the other side, than see what's on the other level, than see what our full potential is, then seek our passion, then seek our purpose. That's how you reclaim your time. That's how you look life dead in the face, dead in the eyes, and say, this is not the life for me. This is not how my story ends. There's more for me. There's something greater. I deserve more. I'm worth more. I have more to give. That's how you reclaim your time. What time is it? 1:14. Every day, I don't struggle to reclaim my time, but every day I work to be better than I was yesterday, better than I was 5 years ago, better than I was 10 years ago. Hell, better than I was 20 years ago, because I was a hot mess 20 years ago. So I definitely want to be better than I was 20 years ago. That's how you reclaim your time. You invest in yourself. You invest in your family. Another way you can reclaim your time, legacy. You can reclaim your time by investing in your legacy. Now, let me explain what I mean by your legacy. Your children, their education, what they know, who they'll be, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. Do you want your family, the people that come behind you, to live the life that you live? Do you want them to struggle the way that you struggle? Do you want them to live paycheck to paycheck? We get to impact generations to come. We get to break generational curses. We get to be the light for the next generation, for your family. You get to leave a legacy. It doesn't matter if you make $15 an hour. You can leave a legacy for your family if you teach them what you did not know growing up, if you give them the knowledge that you wish you had, if you take the time that you spent or wasted or lost and you pass that on to someone else, you get to reclaim your time, because you get to take what you know, what you learn, and put it into someone else. And that's how legacy is created. It's taking something from one generation and passing it to the next generation, and passing it to the next generation, and passing it to the next generation. Right now, our legacy, unfortunately, is poverty. Poverty goes from generation to generation. Negativity, lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem, lack of ownership. lack of businesses, lack of knowledge. That's our legacy right now. But we get to change that. We get to be empowered. We get to reclaim our time. If we're intentional. If you're intentional, you can reclaim your time. You can reclaim your time by who you share your story with, who you share your message with, how you live your life, what you do next, how you invest, who you share your time with, what you listen to, how you show up. That's how you reclaim your time. Mozzie says, so glad I caught this today. I have finally embraced being a writer, and I am reclaiming all the time I lost focusing on being something else. Can you imagine? So I coach and mentor a lot of small business owners, entrepreneurs, and people that want to change their life, right? And so one of the things I ask my clients are you happy? The majority of people are not happy. They're existing. They're content. They're making it through. They're paying their bills. And do you want to know why they're not happy? They're not happy because they're not doing what they want to do. They're not happy because they're going to work every day. And I'm not saying that going to work doesn't make you happy, but if you're not doing work that's pleasing and fulfilling, that's what I'm speaking of. That's what I'm talking about. Or, like Mozzie said, if you're going to work every day, but you know that there's something else in your heart, in your gut, in your soul that you're supposed to be doing, and you suppress that or turn your back on that, and you don't go after that thing, that can make you unhappy too. There's a way to balance, right? You have to have a job, you have to work, you got to pay your bills. That I get and I understand. But don't turn your back on your passion or that thing that makes you happy. It was very difficult when I walked away from my job. Single mom. At that time, I was 36, maybe. I was 36. I got my bachelor's degree. I got my master's degree. I'm 36. I'm making like $75,000 a year as a single mom raising a kid. So I'm not doing bad. But I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be a business owner. I wanted to help my community. I wanted to do something that mattered. And I walked away from my job as a single mom. It's the best flipping decision I ever made in my entire life. Was it difficult? Hell yeah. Was it hard? Hell yeah. Is it hard? Hell yeah. It's still hard. 3 years later, it's still hard. 4 years later, I left in 2013. It's still hard, but it's worth it. I wish I had the balls to have done this earlier. I can't reclaim that time. If you're a person that's walking around with low self-esteem or you lack confidence, you can't go back and reclaim that time. What happens is people finally start a business, they finally start writing, they finally leave their job, they finally leave their man or their woman, they finally say yes to a date, you finally do something, and what do people say? When they finally do something, they say, I should have did this a long time ago. Most every person that takes the chance on themselves or their life, when they finally do it, they say, I should have did this a long time ago. You can't reclaim that time. So what are you waiting on? If there's something in you that you want in life, if there's someplace that you want to go, if there's a new job that you want to have, if there's a new business that you want to start, if there's a man that you want to ask out, if there's a woman that you want to ask out, if you want to lose some weight, if you want to gain some weight, if you want to cut your hair, you can't go back and get that time. Live your life. Do what you got to do. Do it right now. Do it today. Stop suppressing it. Stop feeling guilty about it. Stop thinking it's for somebody else. You only got one life to live. You only get one shot, one chance at this thing. Do it happy. Do it fulfilled. Do it at the top of your game. Do it with all your heart. Do it with everything you have. Leave everything on the table. I was listening to Les Brown the other day, and he was talking about when he dies, he doesn't want on his the thing that goes on the funeral, I forget the name of it, but a placard to say "not used up." It makes me emotional at this very moment. Like I feel like I'm tearing up. Not used up. Could you imagine if you got to the end of your life and you're not used up? You didn't give it your all. You didn't go all out. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Not used up. When I get to the end, I want to be exhausted. I want to get there, just lay it all out on the line. I don't have nothing else to give. I used up every ounce of time I have, every ounce of brain power, every crazy idea. I talked to people, I met people, I networked, I dated, I loved, I hurt, I applied for jobs I didn't qualify for, I started businesses that failed, I read books that people didn't read, but I tried. I put myself out there. I used my time wisely. Kathy Blaze says, just do it. Kathy has a organization here. She just did an event, a fashion show. Kathy, help me if I say this improperly. Just curves, or it had to do with curves. So I believe it was for fuller figure women. And she did this event. That had to be scary to just jump out and do an event and hope that people come and support you. But if she didn't do it, she wouldn't be able to reclaim that time. She can't go back and be like, I wish I would have did that fashion show 3 years ago. Blazing curves. Thank you, Kathy. She can't go back and say, I remember I had that idea to do that fashion show 5 years ago. I wish I would have did it. She's like, I can't reclaim this time. My time is now. Let me do this fashion show now. I'm not going to go back, woulda, coulda, shouldas, and wish I had done it. I'm going to use my time right now wisely. Because I can't reclaim this. I can't go back and say, I want to do 5 years ago over again. I'll be 41 September 14th. I would say my baby years I don't know. So I won't talk about those years. But I will say from about 6th grade to the time that I was 23. So 6th grade to 23, I was miserable. I was unhappy, low self-esteem, looking for love in all the wrong places, promiscuous, making bad choices, horrible decisions, didn't love myself. It was all bad. That's a very long time. 6th grade to 23, that's like 10, 13, 14, 15 years. 15 years of my 41 years. Miserable. Didn't know who I was. Wouldn't tell anybody, wouldn't talk to anybody. Nobody could help me. Talk to your children about what they're going through. They can't go back and reclaim that time. 23, I think I had my son. I got pregnant when I was 24. So it's not that things changed. It's just that I stopped living for myself and I started living for him. So I had to get my stuff together. But I still lacked a lot of things. I would say probably in the past 2, maybe 3 years, maybe the past 3 to 4 years, I got my shit together. I got my act together, where I believe the things that I say, and I feel beautiful, and I believe believe not what people say to me or about me, but believe what I see in the mirror, what I say to myself. I can't reclaim that time. I can't go back and relive those years. All those years I went without loving myself. Out of 41 years, I probably can say I've loved myself wholeheartedly and truly. I don't know when I was little, so I can't count that, but 5 years. If there's something that you want to do, someplace that you want to go, somebody you want to see, somebody you want to talk to, a business you want to start, an event you want to put on, anything that you want to do, a job you want to apply for, go back to school, get it done. Get it done. Do it now. You cannot reclaim this time. You'll never be as young as you are right now. You can't go back and do a lot of things over again. There's a lot of time that you cannot reclaim, so use your time wisely. That's all I have for you guys today. Again, I apologize that I did not get to do the Sunday setup yesterday. I was out. I've been networking all weekend, pushing my event, the Mogul Impact Conference and Retreat, that's going to be here in Phoenix, Arizona, September 8th through the 10th. We have Dr. George Fraser coming through. I will be there talking about unleashing your mogul. When I talk to you guys about reclaiming your time, it's the same with unleashing your mogul. It took me a very long time to unleash my mogul, to really sit in this mogul thing. mogul is a big word. You have to have real cojones to be like, I'm a mogul, and mean it. You have to unleash your fears. You have to unleash your past. You have to unleash failure. You have to unleash not getting that promotion. You have to unleash not getting that job. You have to unleash getting a divorce. You have to unleash that bad relationship. You have to unleash the things that are holding you back so that you can truly walk into your full potential and be the person that you are, that you're created to be. So I'm going to be talking about unleashing your mogul. Ebony, let's see, no, Ebony, Dr. Will be there. He's going to be talking about the power of transformation, the power of choice to transform your life and business. Ebony Porter Ike is going to be talking about coinology, getting paid what you're worth. We just talked about your value, right? We just talked about value a minute ago. So value is going to be important. What do you think you're worth? How are you being represented in the marketplace, whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur? How do you get paid what you're worth? How do you stand in your worth and your value? Understand it and know it. Present it. Anita Johnson Hall is going to be there. She's going to be talking about leaving a legacy in your business, leaving a legacy through your business. We just talked about legacy right now, right? She's going to be there. Roy Tatum is going to be there. He's talking about conscious capitalism, how we spend our money. Where do you give your money to? That's another form of reclaiming your time. Dr. George Fraser is going to be there. He's going to be talking about if God is so good, why are we doing so bad? Which is really about our network, our resources, our tools, what we use, how we live our life. Dr. Joelle Martin just joined us. She's going to be on Saturday night at the awards dinner at the party. Hey. She's going to be talking about being a positively powerful person. If you want to reclaim some time, come out to the Mogul Impact Conference and Retreat. Learn how to pivot your mindset. Learn how to pivot your career. Learn how to pivot your business. Learn how to get yourself, how to take that time that you've not used quite wisely. Put it on its ear. Reclaim it. Wash it up. You know what I'm saying? Smack it, flip it, rub it down. And use it to do what comes next. Okay? So we can't be like Aunt Maxine and reclaim our time and reclaim our time and reclaim our time and just start over. But we can rinse our time. We can learn from it. We can wash it. We can clean it up so that what comes next, what we do with the next piece of time that we have, we can be empowered. We can have control. We can utilize it wisely, and we can unleash our mogul and operate at our fullest potential with power and excellence and confidence and purpose and passion. That's all I have for you guys today, but I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys go out there and reclaim your time in your life, in your career, with your passion, with your purpose. We don't get to do this thing again. We don't get to do this thing again. Do it right. Do it well. Do it scared. Do it scared. Jump out there. See what's available to you. You don't have to have all the answers. It doesn't have to all line up. It doesn't even have to all make sense. Just do it. Just do it. See what you're made of. Peace. Lene Javet, the Mogulist, founder of Kosire, the Mogul Institute, Mogulvation. I am only here to make you better, to help you excel, to help you reach your mogul. Because I believe that there is a mogul in every single one of us. Nobody has the game locked on being a mogul. The difference between us or you or anybody else is action. What type of actions are you going to take? What is your faith? What do you believe? How are you going to push yourself? What do you call yourself? Once you get that understood, your next step can be your best step and will put you one step closer to your mogul. I hope to see you guys next weekend at the Mogul Impact Conference and Retreat. Until then, holla at your girl.